Here we are in a transaction and we are going to the e-signature of this transaction where we have an envelope with one document ready to be sent out for electronic signature. So the electronic signature basic ends here when you click on send, and the electronic signature advanced begins here. So I'm going to send this, and this envelope is already out. As a matter of fact, it is not anymore in the envelope in process section. It is in the sent envelope section. So we have the envelope here, and the first thing we are going to learn is how to change the email address in case we made a mistake. Sometimes you made a mistake when you enter the email address of one of the signers, and then the signer does not receive the email. So you need to change that email so the signer receives that email. In order to do that, it's very easy. As it says here, to follow up an e-signature session, click on the desired envelope number. So we click here on the envelope number, and we open this screen where we can see that these two signers have received already the email for the electronic signature. But somehow we have a typo here. We have a double S when it should be one S only. So this signer is not receiving the email because it is a wrong email. So the system sent that email, but it's going nowhere because it is a wrong email. So in this case, we need to change this. So we just click here on the email address. We delete one S, we click out, and it says email updated successfully. We click on OK, and then we click on this button in this column that says resend document. So when we click here, the system already resent the envelope successfully to this new email address, the corrected one. So this signer should have the email by now already in his inbox. So this way is very easy to correct any typo you might have done in any email address, or you can just delete the full email address and type a new email address. Then you click out, the new email address is going to be there, and then you click on resend. This is very easy to make any correction or replace completely the email address of one or more of the signer. The next thing that we want to do in this case is to, let's say that we want to add another signer, or we want to add another person that is going to receive a copy only once it's signed, or we want to add another document to this envelope, or we want to correct something in this document here that we enter wrong, or we want to add something that we missed to add. So in this case, what you have to do is this. You need to click here on this button that says click here to correct envelope number 1. So in this case, we're going to click here, and the envelope is going to be taken to this section up here that says envelopes in process. So you can open that envelope and do whatever you want to do with that envelope. So let's click here and let's click on yes. And see, the envelope has been taken to the upper section that says envelopes in process. And as a matter of fact, it says under correction. But once you take an envelope under correction, the signers are going to be advised that the envelope is under correction. So they cannot sign the envelope until you finish correcting it. And that's very important because everyone has to be duly informed of what is happening in the process. So don't worry, but the system is going to take care of this automatically. So let me show you how the signer is going to see the email and what's going to happen if they try to sign in that email that you have already sent, but you have taken the document back into correction. So let me open the email where that email was sent, and this is the email here. Here we have the email for this person to sign, and let me click here to see what the signer is going to see at this level when you took the document back into correction. So see what's going to happen? The signer is not going to be able to sign the envelope because you have the envelope under correction, and it's crystal clear the information the signer is getting that says this envelope is under correction. You must wait until the envelope is corrected. So let me close here. Let me go back to the transaction. Now, what can I do with the envelope that is under correction? Number one, let me click here to continue working on an envelope in process. So I'm going to click here, and I have the 3 steps. The step where I can add documents to that envelope, the step where I can add signers or remove signers, and the step where we can add initial and signature prompts and or edit the document in envelope number 1. So let's add another document to this envelope. We are already in this step number 1, and we may add documents from the transaction, or we may add document from the computer by browsing it. So let's say that I want to add a document from the transaction. So I'm going to click here, and I have the documents on the transaction that are left. So I'm going to select this one as it says here, select document to e-sign. And then number 2, click here when finished selecting. So notice that I have already 2 documents in envelope number 1. So I have been able to add a document to this envelope in this correction process. Now, let me continue working, and let's say that I want to add someone that is going to receive a copy. So I come to this section number 2, and I click on this plus sign where it says click here to add additional recipient. And then I'm going to add someone, let's say the listing agent or whoever, and let me click here other. Let's say these 2, they have a sister that lives in town, they don't live in town. So let's say sister name here, sister name at gmail.com, and then I add that recipient, and I'm going to say that this is not going to be a signer, but this is going to receive copy only. So notice that in an envelope that has been sent out already for electronic signature, I took it back into correction, and I was able to not only add a document, but I was able to add another person to receive copies. Then let me go ahead and on step number 3 to add signatures and initial prompts, or to edit the documents the envelope. So I'm going to click here, and now I have 2 documents. The first document that was originally in the envelope that contains the initials and signatures already, but I have another document that I have to add initials and signatures prompts where I want the signers to sign. So let me click here, and I have the document open already for me to add initials. Let me say that I want to add an initial of this landlord here, and let me say that I want to add an initial of this other landlord here, right? So I was able to add initials and signatures on the new document that I have added to that envelope. I'm going to save and close, and now I have them both with the initial and signature prompts as I want them. Now, let's say that I need to correct something in this document because I made a mistake or I missed something that I need to add there before. So let me click here, and it says add signatures on this document or edit the document. So I'm going to click on the green button here, and I have the document open for editing. Now, it is important that you understand that all the information that is in the document, you cannot delete that. You cannot change that from what it is. You can strike out and you can type on top of it, but you cannot delete that because this document has gone already out, and you cannot again change this, but you can just strike out like this. You can strike out this, and then let's say there's a typo here, is not higher but Javier. So let me just strike out that, and with this editing tool I am going to type down here Javier, and that's the name. And let's say I forgot to enter the pet fee, totally forgot that. So with my text tool I'm gonna type an X here. That's the X there, and I need to type an amount. So I select my currency tool and I enter the amount. It was 200. I put 200 and then I click out and I get the 200 with the decimal dot. So as you can see, you can add whatever you need to add, or you can correct whatever you need to correct by, of course, striking out and retyping. And of course, as you know, in every single change you need to add initials of the parties. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to get initials of Javier here. I'm going to get initials of Felipe here, and down here I'm going to get initials of Felipe in the pet fee, and I am going to get initials of Javier and the pet fee. So now I have this corrected. I have this with the initials and signatures, and then I am going to notice that the signatures and the initials that I had before, they are still there. Okay, so those are the ones assigned when we send the envelope the first time. Now we're going to click on save. So we saved all the changes, and now we are going to send the document. So we did some changes here, added something and changed something and put initials on the changes, and we add a new document and we add the initials and the signatures on this document. So let's click on send, and now the signers have received another email, and let me show you what the email says. You see, I'm going to click here, I'm going to come to my inbox, and notice that I have this new email here that says corrected. That's important. So this signer knows that the envelope was corrected. So everyone has to be informed about, again, what is happening along the process. That's crystal clear. So now if I open this, the system will allow me to sign. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to click here. You see, I'm able to sign, and here you know that they click on sign and they sign the document. So now you know how to correct an envelope that has been sent out for electronic signature before it is fully signed. When the document is completed, you cannot do any change on the document. Of course, you can do changes as long as the document is not completed. When the document is completed, it's all over, it's fully signed, and if you have to do some changes there, you have to open another envelope, you have to add that document there and do the changes, and of course get the initials and signatures on the changes as they should be. And finally, let's check the last item in this training, which is how to void an envelope. As you can see on this screen, in this transaction, we have 4 types of envelope status: being prepared, under correction, completed, and pending. Those are the only 4 envelope status you have. And how to delete them is very easy. You have that information down here. It says want to delete an envelope, and then you need to know what to do when you want to delete a pending one, a completed one, an under correction one, or a being prepared one. It's very easy. Just follow the instructions here, and we'll do that one by one. And it's very important for you to understand that whenever you delete an envelope, the envelope is removed and it is unrecoverable. So you have to make sure that you want to delete that envelope. Once you do that, again, you cannot recover that envelope again. So let's delete the being prepared envelope. It says you must first delete all its documents on this screen. So here we have the being prepared and we have 2 documents. So we're going to select the 2 documents on envelope number 3 by clicking on the little square under the trash can icon, and we click on the delete selected documents icon, which is the little trash can here that is in red color. So we click there, we confirm that we want to delete those documents, and once you do that, the envelope is not any longer here. Now let's continue with the other one, under correction. It says under correction, which is this one here, number 4. It says you must first void it. In order to void an envelope, you must click on this little icon with a red circle and a cross red line. Then you confirm that you want to delete the envelope. You click on yes, and once you click on yes, says envelope void successfully. Click on OK, and then you have a little trash can here, and then you click on the trash can and confirm that you want to delete that voided envelope, and the envelope is gone. So the one that is pending, it says here pending, you must first void it. So you click here in one of these 2, you click here, and both of them are going to be selected. So are you sure you want to void this envelope? Then it's voided, and as you can see here, all of the documents in envelope number 2 were selected. So you click on the trash can again and you confirm, and the envelope is gone. Now we have the completed one. It says completed. You must first delete all its documents from the transaction. And here it says tag roll, print out, Wise Broker sign number 1. So we have to delete the document from the transaction. So we have to go back to the transaction and look for the document with that name to delete it. So we click here on this icon, so we can see all the documents in the transaction. And here you have the document tax roll printout Real Estate Brokerage signed. One, you click on the delete icon here on the right, that row, you click on delete icon, you delete it, and we go back to the eSignature, and here it says document was removed from the checklist. And then you have deleted trash can, you click on the trash can, you confirm, and all 4 documents were removed completely. With that, you know now how to void and delete each one of the envelope status that you may have in a transaction.